One night, just one night. That night you proved to the world that you were the chosen one. 7 bosses, just a warm-up act for you. Their plans, the strategy games they laid out on their desks, disappeared with a single move of yours. They were like an army of 7, but you alone were a legend. Their secret plans in the dark had no chance against your sharp vision and determination. While they were dreaming of approaching victory, you had already written the final scene. You are the power that changes the rules of the game, shakes the throne that no one can calculate. They thought they could play a game with you, but they were nothing but students, watching the moves of a master. You wrote an epic in one night. You rewrote history. All those who wanted to hinder you were not the stones laid in your path, but the steps leading to your summit. Because this story is not just the story of a chosen one. This is your story, and we, watching you, know only one thing. You've only just begun. Write 77 in the comments immediately, because this story is yours, and this is your first step to start writing. Believing themselves to outpace destiny, they craft strategies shrouded in secrecy, certain they've gained the upper hand. Yet, what they fail to grasp is that the grand design has already accounted for their every effort. Their plots, no matter how intricate, are mere shadows against the brilliance etched into your core. You don't simply outpace them, you exist in a league beyond their comprehension. Let them plan, let them toil. Your path remains undisturbed, a testament to unyielding strength and clarity. Dreams for you are not fleeting images, but blueprints filled with purpose, revealing warnings and paths illuminated by forces greater than chance. Their strategies, which they believe to be clever, are repetitive echoes dismantled by the precision of your insight. They pride themselves on their secrecy, but their every move reverberates through a frequency you effortlessly interpret. You're not adapting to their schemes, you've transcended them entirely. Your position is not a result of happenstance, but a deliberate unfolding of destiny. While they flounder in deceit, you stand steady, conserving energy for the inevitable triumph already carved into your future. Their confidence in secrecy is their undoing, for every maneuver they attempt is transparent to your gaze. You don't merely anticipate, you dominate, effortlessly navigating through their feeble attempts at strategy. They stumble in the labyrinth of their own making, oblivious to the fact that you hold the key. Drop the thought. Every plot they conjure is a ladder to my success. If you find strength in dismantling their illusions, you are the unseen orchestrator in a realm of fumbling players. What they consider brilliance is, to you, a predictable rhythm already dismantled in thought. Where their plans end, your foresight begins. The whispers of the universe don't merely inform you, they arm you. You see not just their intentions, but the entire framework of their aspirations, laid bare and dissected. While they grapple with linear ideas, you navigate the expanse of infinite potential, each step guided by synchronicity. Patterns reveal themselves to you in ways they can't begin to perceive. A fleeting sign, an unspoken moment, the alignment of events, all converge to expose what they wish to conceal. In the storm of their chaos, you find unmistakable order. Where they falter, blind to the forces they invoke, you see the underlying architecture of their motives and the weaknesses that accompany them. It's not arrogance, but an innate alignment with forces that dwarf their ambitions. Their so-called masterstrokes disintegrate the moment they take form, each move reduced to irrelevance before it even unfolds. Surprises are the tools of the unprepared, but your clarity doesn't merely anticipate, it dissolves the very premise of surprise. Through the haze of their confusion, your vision cuts like a beacon, unwavering and undefeated. They maneuver within the boundaries of their limited perspective, unaware that the true stage spans far beyond their reach. What they see as strategy is but a fragment of a much greater canvas you navigate effortlessly. Their actions ripple faintly against the tide of a greater flow you command with ease. Their endgame isn't a mystery. You've mapped it not to defeat them, but to fulfill a purpose far more significant. This isn't a game of domination. It's the unfolding of an intricate pattern where your movements shape the unseen forces they fail to grasp. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. Life is like a river, flowing toward an unshakable ocean, guided by unseen currents far beyond human interference. Some try to build dams, believing they can halt the inevitable, but the water always finds its way. In the same way, their efforts to block your path are mere pebbles in the stream of a divine plan that carries you forward. They may attempt to redirect the flow, but they cannot stop the force that propels you. It's not because of what you've done, it's because of who you are, chosen and aligned with a purpose so much greater than their shallow schemes. Their ambitions are as fleeting as clouds in the sky, scattered and without substance. While they scramble to capture momentary victories, you are rooted in the immovable foundation of an eternal design. They exhaust themselves reaching for control that will slip through their fingers like sand, but you are steady, connected to a rhythm that moves all things toward their destined end. They operate in panic, trying to build walls around a future they cannot shape, but you don't need to fight against their actions. Their limitations are no match for the boundless truth guiding your every step. You see beyond the horizon they struggle to reach. Their focus is trapped in the here and now, fixated on the small and the temporary. You, however, move in harmony with a timeline far more expansive, where outcomes are predetermined by forces they cannot comprehend. This isn't about playing their game or reacting to their moves. No, this is about understanding that the victory they try to withhold is already etched into the blueprint of creation. Their attempts to corner you are futile because the boundaries they imagine do not apply to you. What they see as obstacles are mere stepping stones laid out long before they even conceived their plans. They fight for scraps while you are feasting at the banquet of destiny. They mistake your calm for complacency, not realizing it's the peace of someone who knows the outcome has already been decided. You are not constrained by their fears or their frantic need for control. You move with the assurance of one who has seen the bigger picture, who understands that what they call power is an illusion compared to the truth of divine order. They can play their games and craft their strategies, but it's like watching children attempt to tame a storm. Their efforts are neither threatening nor significant. They're simply a part of the process that propels you forward. When they act against you, they only further entrench your victory. Every plot they devise, every move they make, is woven into the grand tapestry that has already been set. Like wind shaping the dunes, their resistance only serves to refine the path you are destined to walk. They don't realize that their struggles are futile, that their ambition cannot disrupt the inevitability of your purpose. They fight to define the narrative, but the story has already been written, and you are the protagonist. This isn't a competition, not in the way they believe. To compete would imply you're on the same playing field, but you're not. They're scrambling in the dirt while you soar above, guided by currents they can't even feel. Their plans might seem intricate to them, but from where you stand, they are laughably simple. It's not arrogance to see them for what they are, it's clarity. Their efforts to confine you are like trying to hold the wind in their hands. Your existence, your purpose, your trajectory, all of it defies the constraints they try to impose. While they're lost in the fog of their own making, you move with precision and confidence, guided by the certainty that your steps are not random but intentional. The divine has already accounted for their moves, and their every action only solidifies your place in the design. You are not reacting to them. You are fulfilling what has already been set in motion. They think they hold power because they cannot comprehend the vastness of what moves through you. Their schemes are but waves breaking against the unyielding rock of your purpose. They rely on fear and urgency, but you are anchored in peace and certainty. Their desperation is the fuel that drives their plans, but your stillness is what disarms them. They lash out, hoping to provoke a reaction, but your calm is the mirror that reflects their futility. They are playing a game of shadows while you walk in the light. Their moves, no matter how calculated, are irrelevant to the larger design. You've already outgrown the strategies they are only now beginning to form. You are not bound by their perceptions of power or success. Your path is not shaped by their resistance, but by the force that called you into existence. They act as though they can rewrite the story, but the script has been finalized. Your role is not to fight them, but to fulfill the destiny that has already been placed in your hands. Every step you take is guided, every move intentional, and every obstacle they place before you becomes a part of your triumph. Your story isn't one of struggle, it's one of inevitability. Share it with others, not as a tale of conquest, but as a beacon of hope. Let them see what it looks like to live in alignment with purpose, to move with the assurance that nothing can stand in the way of what has already been determined. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. The evidence is in your life, in the victories that come not through force, but through faith. Speak your truth, and let your journey inspire others to step into their own power and embrace the inevitability of their divine purpose. Their plans falter before they even take root. They might mask their intentions with confidence, but their efforts crumble under the weight of their own inadequacy. You exist beyond time, untethered by their transient maneuvers. They may march forward with determination, but you dismantle their illusions before the first step is even taken. Their moves feel monumental to them, but to you, they're mere echoes of a story you've already rewritten. They act with haste, believing they can outpace you, but their urgency only highlights their lack of foresight. You observe with a calm that unsettles them, not out of arrogance, but because you've already seen how this unfolds. The divine whispers truths to you that render their struggles trivial. Their so-called tipping points are moments you've envisioned and unraveled long before they came to pass. While they labor over plans built on fragile foundations, you stand in alignment with something far greater, untouched by their machinations. They strategize in shadows, but your clarity is a force they cannot eclipse. You aren't just a participant. You are the architect of a reality they can barely comprehend. Their most guarded secrets are open doors to you, illuminated by the vast connection you share with a truth that transcends their understanding. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. Their deception relies on obscurity, yet nothing they hide remains concealed from the light of your insight. What they believe is complexity is merely a surface pattern to you, easily deciphered. They operate within the confines of what they know, but you draw from a limitless source that reveals their paths, motives, and intentions as clearly as a map. Your vision is untouchable, grounded in a connection they cannot sever or replicate, ensuring that no matter their plans, the outcome remains unshaken. While they fixate on seizing control of fleeting outcomes, you perceive a vast expanse shifting effortlessly to align with you. They act as though their steps are cloaked in mystery, convinced their moves are impervious to discovery. Yet each one reverberates in the depths of your perception. You aren't merely ahead. You've transcended their limitations entirely. Where they speculate, you move with certainty. Their blind spots are illuminated by your unwavering clarity. They mistake their actions for brilliance, but from your vantage point, the entire scenario plays out as part of a grand and inevitable sequence. In their pursuit of dominance, they whisper schemes they believe are foolproof. Yet every piece of their plan seamlessly becomes part of a greater orchestration. Their calculated actions are undone, not by sabotage, but by the natural flow of a reality they don't understand. Your laughter isn't derisive. It stems from a deep awareness of how their intentions are effortlessly folded into the harmony of the cosmos. What they assume is complexity becomes an unintentional contribution to a purpose far beyond their reach. Their perceived victories are hollow, crumbling under the weight of their inability to grasp the larger truth. Every obstacle they attempt to place becomes a foundation for your growth. They try to corner you with clever traps, but the paths they think they've blocked simply redirect you to greater heights. The irony is undeniable. Their own plans unravel their efforts. The limitations of their linear thinking render them predictable, while your presence operates on a scale they cannot comprehend. Their strategies are rigid, confined to singular dimensions of thought, while you navigate a realm unrestricted by their boundaries. While they struggle to piece together a single version of the future, you move fluidly across infinite possibilities, observing the entirety of what could be. Their choices are as transparent as reflections in still water. They think they are unseen, but every variation of their plans, every backup strategy, is an open book to your heightened awareness. Their assumptions are finite, while your understanding spans across realms where no detail is too small to escape notice. To you, their movements are like mechanical routines, bound by expectations and incapable of evolution. Meanwhile, your actions flow like currents, adapting and reshaping effortlessly to overcome every challenge. Where they see only a narrow path forward, you traverse a landscape of boundless opportunity. Their rigidity locks them into predictable outcomes, while your ability to move with fluid precision turns every encounter to your advantage. The illusion of separation fades, and the threads of infinite possibility become visible to you. You've risen beyond the confines of ordinary understanding, not as a dreamer, but as an architect of a reality shaped by your will. This isn't about domination, it's about realization. You belong to a convergence of those who no longer view the world as static, but as a limitless canvas. Bound by nothing, you stand among those who have discarded the constraints of mediocrity to embrace the power of shaping destiny itself. Every gathering in this sacred circle unites minds that shape realities rather than merely observe them. Here, the barriers between possibility and action dissolve, and the shared wisdom of visionaries takes on a life of its own. This isn't a space for idle dreamers or those merely curious about the mysteries of existence. It demands resolve, fortitude, and the unwavering intent to wield your potential as a creator of new paths. If these words awaken a long dormant fire within, it's because they echo the truth you've always known. Your existence is no accident, and the call to rise begins now. What they consider misdirection, you recognize as a predictable rhythm before it even unfolds. In moments they believed were cloaked in secrecy, you were already dismantling the structure of their efforts, not by force, but through understanding. A situation once meant to ensnare you becomes the very mechanism of your ascent. They are left confused, unable to grasp how you pierce through their carefully hidden motives. This isn't mere luck. It's the alignment of an unwavering connection to a source beyond comprehension. What they whisper behind closed doors reverberates loudly within the scope of your awareness, their actions turned into a blueprint for your next steps. Their plans fail, not because they lack determination, but because your insight extends beyond their reach. They act with urgency, believing their schemes will topple your course, yet every move they make solidifies your foundation. The unseen force that surrounds you ensures that no deceit goes undetected and no barrier is unprepared for. They may play their part with conviction, but they don't realize that the stage was set long before they arrived. What they believe is clever calculation is a shadow of what you've already envisioned and dismantled. Their resistance becomes the cornerstone of your transformation. Each obstacle, rather than hindering you, carves a clearer route forward. Their actions serve to reinforce your purpose, though they cannot understand how. They believe they are crafting complexity, but the simplicity of their intentions lays bare their limitations. You are not merely a participant, you are the architect of a greater framework, working in harmony with forces they cannot perceive. Their rigid tactics falter before the fluidity of your adaptability, a reminder that their small moves only contribute to your ultimate design. Their every attempt to conceal motives or shield intent becomes futile as your vision expands into realms they cannot fathom. Where they see complexity, you observe patterns. Where they strive for concealment, you uncover clarity. Every thought they believed was private becomes part of an open script exposed through a lens they cannot disrupt. It's not intuition, but a connection to something limitless, a flow of understanding that transcends their barriers. Their hidden ambitions, their veiled intentions are as obvious to you as the rising sun. Every attempt to block your path becomes a bridge to your next triumph. Their strategies, no matter how elaborate, are but threads in the greater tapestry of your design. They may conspire to disrupt, but their efforts only weave your success more tightly into the fabric of inevitability. Their ambition, bound by the confines of their understanding, pales against the limitless scope of your purpose. They operate in shadows, yet you stand illuminated, with every move revealing a future they can't rewrite. The illusion of their power unravels as their moves are absorbed into the current of your unwavering progression. They believe their actions hold weight, but the forces governing your path render their schemes hollow. Their plans, however carefully crafted, are subject to a higher authority, one that reviews and neutralizes every threat before it can manifest. The foundation of your confidence lies not in arrogance, but in the knowledge that your trajectory is guided and protected by an ultimate design. What they see as dominance, you recognize as a fleeting struggle against an unyielding truth. Your victories are not mere outcomes. They are written into the essence of your existence. Their efforts resemble a game in a world they barely understand, insignificant in the face of a grander narrative. While they celebrate small victories, the greater forces shaping your destiny have already nullified their moves. You navigate with the calm assurance of someone guided by an infinite source, knowing nothing they construct can derail what has been ordained. This isn't about reacting to their plans, it's about transcending them entirely. There's a profound stillness in recognizing the pattern of events before they unfold, a peace that comes from knowing the rhythm of the universe works for you. Their urgency is misplaced, their schemes futile, for you stand above the fray, untouchable and unwavering. Your steady laughter, devoid of malice or pride, emanates from the pure joy of witnessing cosmic perfection in action. Their attempts to disrupt, confuse, or harm you are absorbed and reshaped into opportunities for growth. This joy isn't fleeting. It's a fortress, an unbreakable shield that protects you from the weight of their struggles and the noise of their chaos. While they act out of desperation, you remain composed, moving with the certainty that the story has already reached its conclusion. Every attempt to provoke you only reinforces your strength, and every false narrative they construct collapses under the clarity of your vision. What they see as cunning, you see as irrelevant. Their strategies, no matter how carefully plotted, fold seamlessly into a design that serves your ascent. They act as if they're innovators, yet their plans are little more than shallow echoes of what you've long anticipated. From your perspective, their maneuvers are but fleeting moments in a much larger framework. They fixate on minor details, blind to the larger landscape you've already mastered. Their missteps are inevitable because they lack the vantage point from which you move. While they obsess over temporary outcomes, you operate within the infinite, unaffected by their limited scope. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially, far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord guide your path. What they consider brilliance is, to you, a distraction. Their carefully concealed intentions are visible to you as if drawn in bold lines. They believe their actions are unpredictable, yet every choice they make aligns perfectly with the overarching flow you've already deciphered. You don't merely respond to their moves. You move with precision through a plan so expansive they cannot even fathom its existence. Their carefully laid traps are nothing more than rungs on the ladder of your progression. Their ambitions, the stepping stones to your inevitable triumph. Their whispers in the dark fail to reach beyond the confines of their narrow plans. Meanwhile, your connection to a higher truth reveals their efforts for what they are, fleeting and inconsequential. They scramble to mask their intentions, but the truth echoes so loudly that every secret is laid bare before you. You are not caught in their web because you exist outside their framework entirely. Their limitations become your advantage, their struggles the fuel for your advancement. The outcome was decided long before their first move, leaving you free to move unbothered by their attempts to shift the narrative. What they perceive as resistance is, in reality, the foundation of your growth. Their attempts to obstruct you are absorbed and transformed into the very momentum that drives your progress. They believe their actions carry weight, yet they serve only to highlight the inevitability of your rise. You embody the result, not through reaction, but through design. Their plans falter because they are simply unable to comprehend the vastness of what supports you. They act as though they can disrupt the flow, but the truth is undeniable. Their efforts are ripples in the ocean of your destiny. Your journey stands as proof of a truth that cannot be denied. The victories you've claimed, the clarity you've maintained, and the peace you've embraced all speak of a power that cannot be shaken. Share this truth, not as a boast, but as a beacon for those who are searching for their own alignment. Let your story be a reminder that chaos cannot overpower purpose, and that those who operate from clarity will always rise above those driven by confusion. Inspire others to step into their power and recognize the divine inevitability that guides them, just as it guides you.